is not working. Flat out, it not working. The Miami Heat just lost a very competitive game that it didn't even seem like they were going to be involved in against the Cleveland Cavaliers, the number one team in the Eastern Conference. But it's one player standing out amongst all of the rest that is really just, it feels like yanking this team down. I'm here to break down who it is and what alternatives we do have as currently constructed. We'll break down all of that on this episode of Heat Digest. But first, remember, if you're a part of the 85.5% currently watching this video, not currently subscribed to the channel, please scroll down, click the subscribe button. We do appreciate all the love and support, so thank you guys. But now let's get to it and break down how this is flat out just not working. And it really isn't. There's no other way to slice it. Terry Rozier is an issue. He is a problem to this Miami Heat organization. When we went out and acquired him from the Charlotte Hornets last season, it seemed like the big splash, if you will. The big splash that no one wanted. Now, we were all thinking, go get Damian Lillard. That didn't happen. Then time went on. Kevin Durant, this name, all these big names. And we were never actually involved in actually attempting to acquire these massive assets. But then the whole offseason goes by. We don't make any moves at all outside of Alec Burks. And then what do? We went out and got Terry Rozier. And when we got Terry Rozier, everyone was like, hey, this will help. This will push the needle just a little bit more. Jimmy will feel satisfied. This will, this is that big name to put next to Jimmy. It hasn't happened. It hasn't happened once. Yes, he's had a few outlier games. But this season particularly has been god-awful, and there's no other way to slice it. He has been absolutely terrible. Now, last night was just the most recent example of what we're talking about. 112-107 is how we lost this game. It was actually a lot closer than that. Duncan Robinson did hit a game-tying three to tie the game at 110 apiece, but he did step out of bounds by the fraction of a hair with his heel when, again, inbounds play, inbounding from the far side of the court, a few down screen set. It was then thrown over the top. Duncan caught it, took one dribble to the sidestep, and in the process of doing so, stepped out of bounds on the far sideline. It was called. Obviously, the ball goes back to Cleveland. We foul. They shoot 2 free throws. Garland makes both of them. The game is over because then Duncan did miss the final shot with roughly 5 seconds left to then cut it back to a 2-point game, 110-112. It didn't matter. He didn't make it. The time expired. Game was over. The problem is, Terry Rozier in the second half of this ball game was horrible. And honestly, he's fitting the mold that we anticipate. He's been horrible for the majority of this season, and when the moment's the biggest in a game against the number one seed, not only in the Eastern Conference, but the entirety of the NBA, he's horrible once again. And I'm not trying to just flat out trash the young man, but God bless it. 3 of 14 from the field. 1 of 8 from 3. He made 5 of 5 free throws. Thank God. But again, 12 points, 2 assists, 1 rebound, 1 steal, plus minus of -3, and 4 turnovers. And now, you may be thinking, that's not a horrible stat line. Well, it is. In his third quarter, and again, we're focusing specifically on the second half. In the third quarter, he played 10 minutes. He produced 2 points. 0 of 5 from the field, 0 of 3 from 3, made both of his free throws, and he turned the ball over 3 times. Okay, that was the third quarter. Then we get to the fourth quarter. Oh, mind you, he had a even plus minus in that third quarter. You go to the fourth quarter, he played 12 minutes, gave us no points, no rebounds, 1 assist, no steals, no blocks, a -1 plus minus. 0 of 3 from the field, 0 of 2 from behind the three-point line, didn't get to the free throw line. Thank God he didn't turn the ball over, but the point is the same. In 22 minutes of basketball, in the second half of a basketball game, he put up 2 points on 0 of 8 shooting, including 0 of 5 from behind the three-point line, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, in a total of 3 turnovers. And again, not the greatest stat line overall for Terry Rozier. Now, it's just, I wish this would have worked because it felt like we could have used someone like Terry Rozier to put alongside someone like Duncan and Hero, who didn't play last night, and Bam Adebayo. And it didn't work, and it sucks. But we have to go away from it because we cannot continue to shoot ourselves in the foot by using players that are flat out not going to produce in any positive way. So what am I suggesting? Give the keys to Devion Mitchell and don't ever take them from him. If you want to play Devion and you have to take him out due to fatigue issues, obviously Hero is going to end up being the second starter in the sense of he will be the shooting guard. Devion Mitchell is going to be the starting point guard. If there's a way where we can critique this, the way the minute construction works, let's pull up Josh Christopher. Let's play him a whole lot more. Obviously, he has to play 41 of the games in the G League. I almost said WNBA. In the G League, because that's the way his contract is formatted. He's a two-way player. We are past the halfway point of the season. I'm pretty sure we can get away. Off the top of my head, I do not know how many games Josh Christopher has actually played in on the NBA level. But if I go back and I look, I guarantee you it is no more than 12, 15 games at the absolute most. Let's play Josh Christopher at the point guard when we have to take Devion Mitchell off the floor. And I think we should be playing Devion. This is going to sound absurd. We should play him 35 minutes. We should play him as much as we play Tyler and Bam Adebayo. He is a great player. And obviously, if you look at the stats, he's not going to wow you. It's not something that is going to it's not some outstanding stat that's going to catch your eye every single time. But if you watch the ball games and you watch him be extremely efficient in the shots he does take, which again, pass first point guard, shoots the open shots when he's left open or receives an open pass. He can shoot off the dribble. He can shoot off the catch and shoot. He's a pass-first, defensive-minded point guard who is a very, very good player. And mind you, he's only, 26 years of age? He has so much basketball left out in front of him. He has not dealt with substantial injuries. Back at Baylor, he was a problem. He was drafted by Sacramento. He was traded to Toronto. And now he's in Miami. And again, he's been good in all three locations. He just has to have the minutes and the opportunity to actually play. And now in a place with a culture such as Miami, who's led by Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra, who have not been great this year. And understand the blown leads are unacceptable. But last night we were down 17 at one point, and we made a major comeback thanks to Bam Adebayo, who we're going to get to in just a second. We need to be able to rely on good players, and Terry Rozier is not a part of that group of players right now. If he can turn everything over and find something that works and find a groove and find his footing with this Heat team, maybe we slowly but surely implement him into the lineup just little by little as time goes on to take some of the pressure off of him and really just ease him up just a bit so he becomes a better ball player. Back to the days of Charlotte, back to the early days, I guess you could say very, very early days, very minimal days of Miami. The point is the same. We're back in Boston even. The point is the same. Let's rely on Mitchell. Let's rely on players like Josh Christopher, Tyler Hero, Duncan Robinson. I would rather play with those guys than Terry Rozier because it's just flat. It's not working. And last night was another horrible example of what we're getting from Terry Rozier. Now, another thing that I want to point out from Devion Mitchell or about Devion Mitchell is this clip that Heat Culture on Twitter did post, but they are shouting out 5 Reasons Sports on Twitter, who did conduct this interview with Devion. When Miami Heat Culture goes on to say, Devion Mitchell on using this season as an audition to be the future starting point guard for the Miami Heat. And Devion really just goes on to say that he's been drafted and then traded multiple times, and he just goes from place to place to place. And the whole mentality from whether he is traded or whether he's been there for a long period of time is the fact that he wants to just showcase how good he is and how good of a ball player he can be regardless of where he is. It doesn't matter if he's in Toronto. It doesn't matter if he's in Boston, New York, Sacramento, Toronto, again, Miami, Texas. It doesn't matter. He's going to fit in because the way he plays basketball is defensive-minded, pass first, play basketball. Play it hard, play aggressive, and be physical. And that's what we see from Devion Mitchell. And he's extremely efficient in doing so, which is very rare to see, especially from someone who's as young as Devion, who's only 26. Now, I'm going to read the quote from Devion himself. If I can be in the NBA and be the best player I can be, if it's here or somewhere else, I just love playing basketball. Obviously, I want to be here. I want to be a part of this culture. I want to be a part of this system. I feel like I thrive here more than anywhere else I've been. And again, that is an exact quote from Devion Mitchell in this interview with 5 Reasons Sports. Again, go check it out if you want to see the entirety of it. But this is exactly what we want to hear, and this is what we should expect. a defensive-minded point guard, a gritty guy, a gritty point guard who wants to, now has been in Miami for some time since the trade deadline, and now loves the culture, loves the system, loves the mentality, loves everything about it, and wants to maintain a position here. When we first went out and acquired him, I told you guys this guy is going to be a Miami Heat player for a long, long time, and I meant it then, and I mean it now. That he is going to be a part of this Heat system for a long, long time because of the way he plays the game of basketball and the way this culture is established in Miami. He will always have a job here because he's a gritty guy who will slap the floor and play defense the entirety of the time at the highest level when he is on the court. And again, play him as much as you can. There is no reason not to. He's 26. If he has a conditioning issue, I understand. Take him out for a minute, let him get a breather, put him back in the game. And I'm a bit exaggerating, but you understand the point. It's we need to go to him more than we go to Rozier, and I think Josh Christopher would also be a great option to pick up pick up some of those starting guard minutes, or not even starting guard, but point guard minutes. I think it would be a great job by the Miami Heat, and I think it would really look good. We have to credit Bam Adebayo before we go, because without Tyler Hero and Kevin Love starting in the lineup back in Cleveland, 34 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, plus minus of -1, crazy in a losing effort. But again, overall, a great performance. Shot 11 of 18 from the field, made 3 of his 5 3-point shots, and 9 of his 9 free throws. Overall, a very aggressive approach from Bam Adebayo, something that we are looking forward to and really need to see from here on out of the season if we hope to win enough games to stay out of the play-in tournament. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know down below what you guys think about the Rozier and Mitchell entire situation, and I'll see you guys on the next one.